Now let me explain how to construct a isometric thread, that is nothing but unified thread as per Indian standards. Now we know that the fundamental height h can be calculated using tan 60 degree. Now the included angle is given as 60 degree. Then using that, the right angle triangle height will become tan 60 degree, which is going to come around 0.87 p. Now let us assume the p value as 50 mm. P is nothing but a pitch, the distance between two consecutive threads, which will be coming around 43.5 millimeter. Then we have to calculate what is the crest and root for internal thread. In the same fashion, what is the crest and root for external thread. Now for the internal threads, the fundamental height h will becomes 43.5 millimeter. Then the value of root will be h by 8. The h by 8 is given as 5.4375 millimeter. In the same fashion, the crest will be h by 4, which is 10.875 millimeter. Now using a line command with a 0.13 mm as a thickness, let us draw the lines like this. Now this is 1. Now the lines are supposed to be drawn in the form of continuous thin line with 0.13 mm thickness. Now let me draw a line. Now we have drawn one line. In the same fashion, there are 4 lines to be drawn like this. Totally 4 lines has to be drawn like this. Now after drawing the 4 lines, make use of a distance between command or smart dimension command. The distance between these 2 lines is nothing but root. The root value we have calculated, which is coming around 5.435 millimeter. 5.4375 millimeter for root. And the crest value will be 10.875. Now these are the standards for drawing internal threads. The fundamental height is supposed to be 43.5 millimeters. 43.5 millimeters. Now we have written all the required standards. After writing all the required standards, now make use of a command called a line with 0.13 mm itself as a thickness. Let us draw the lines like this. Now let us draw only 3 lines. Using the same line command, change the line style to chain line and let us draw the constructional lines like this. After drawing these constructional lines, we know that the value of pitch is given as 50 mm. Now let me give this value as 50 mm. In the same fashion, the distance between these 2 threads is also supposed to be 50 mm. Now make use of a command called Symmetric Relationship. Select this as the axis. These 2 lines are symmetrical to each other. Now make use of a command called angle between. The angle between these 2 lines are nothing but the included angle, which is measuring as 60 degree. Now automatically this line will also become 60 degree. You can check it out. Now after doing all these things, let me zoom this area. Now we have to draw the rounded root. How to draw the rounded root? Using a line command, let us draw the construction lines. Starting from the intersection point here, now let me draw the line which is going to touch this center line. Now this line is supposed to be perpendicular to this one. After drawing that perpendicular line, make use of a command called arc by center point with 0.5 mm as a thickness, this as the center and this point as the radius. Let me draw an arc like this. This is going to complete the rounded root. But the crest will become flat using 0.5 mm as a thickness. With respect to this intersection, let us draw the flat crest. In the same way, the flat crest up to here, let me write it. Now using the line command, let us complete the remaining portion of a thread like this. Now once we have completed a thread like this, now we have to draw at least 3 threads. We have to draw at least 3 threads. Now let me select the thread portion, that is these lines along with the construction lines as well as the axis and this construction line. Now let us make use of a command called move. Let me switch on the copy of move along with respect to this point. Let me place that point over here and once again the point over here. Similarly, like that, now I have written 4 threads. Now the 4 threads is almost sufficient. Now this is going to complete the construction of internal threads. Now the same internal threads, now the external thread has to be formed as per the standards. Now what best we can do is, we can select the complete threads, then using move command, place it below the internal thread at some convenient distance. After placing this at some convenient distance, then change all the values. What are the values to be changed? Whatever the dark lines what we have drawn, let me eliminate those lines. Because these lines are not required for us now. So for that purpose, let us delete all the things. I wanted only the basic triangle. Now using the distance between command, the distance between these 2 lines, that is nothing but the crest in case of external thread. The crest of external thread is given as h by 8. The root of internal thread will be equal to the crest of external thread. Now the fundamental height remains same 43.5, but the value of root in the external thread is going to change it for h by 6, which is nothing but 7.25 millimeter. Now let me change that respective value. Now using the same distance between command, the distance between the two consecutive threads, is 50 millimeter. So let me write that 50 millimeter properly like this. After writing these things, now the root has to be rounded and crest has to be flattened. How to do that? Now let us go for a line command. Now using a line command, let us form a root. How to form a root? Now we have to divide this angle, that is we have to bisect this angle with respect to this point. So now let me draw the line like this. Now this line is going to bisecting this angle. Which angle to be bisected? The angle between these 2 lines has to be bisected. Now it is measuring as 120 degree. Now the bisection angle will become 60 degree. The angle between this line and this line is supposed to be 60 degree. This is called bisecting a angle. Now make use of circle by center point command or arc by center point command. Let us draw an arc or a circle which is tangential like this. Now make use of a trim command. Trim these portions which is not required. Now using a line command, let me draw a line from here to here, which is nothing but a crest, and let me join that crest and root, that is nothing but a shank. After drawing that one, using a move command, let us place this properly here also. Now using a line command, let me draw a line from here to here, which is going to complete one thread. In the same fashion, we have to select the thread profile as well as the constructional elements to draw the next threads. So let us make use of a command called move. Let the move copy be on. Move with respect to one thread to the other thread. 1, 2, similarly 3. Now we have drawn 4 threads like this. Now these construction lines can be eliminated. Using a line command, some lines are missing. Now that lines are nothing but these lines. Let us draw these lines using 0.13 mm and in the form of a chain line. and in the form of a chain line. Now this is going to complete both internal as well as external threads. Now using a line command, let me draw the center lines here also. Now after drawing these center lines and all other required parameters, now let me select the complete internal and external thread and just make use of copy command which is present here. Copy this one, right click on the sheet 3 and insert it. Now you can see fresh sheet is available. Then using a paste command, paste the sketch. Now the sketch is going to be pasted here. After the sketch has been pasted, then make use of a command called curve. Using curve command, then let me draw the hatchet portions like this. In the same fashion, hatchet portion for external thread also to be done. So let me do the hatching portion for external thread as well as internal threads. Now once the completion of hatching, that is once the completion of defining the boundary, is there, then let us zoom this area. Now using a fill command, let the angle be 45 degree and spacing be 3 mm. Let us do the hatching for these portions. This is nothing but internal thread. Whatever the hatching we are doing, that is called as internal threads. And now the small portions of a triangles also to be hatched properly like this. But do not hatch these portions, or do not hatch this portion. Only these two portions should be hatched for every thread. Now this completes the hatching for internal thread. In the same fashion, we have to complete the hatching for external thread also. So now for the external thread, give the angle as -45 degree. Now let us construct the hatching of external threads. Now this is how the external thread hatching is going to look like. Now whatever the portions is there, each and every portions to be hatched properly. Now zooming this location, we have to hatch these portions also. We have to hatch these portions also. We have to hatch these portions also. Okay, after doing the hatching, now what is the next step? Let me delete few dimensions which is present here, 43.5 mm, 5.4375, because both are the same. So now let me delete all the dimensions which is there. Now let us select the required internal threads using move command. Let the copy be off. Move with respect to this point and it should be positioned properly over here. Now using the dimensions distance between command, the distance between h/6 has to be measured. So now let me measure the h/6, and now this is what a required internal and external thread assembled view as per the given question.